Donkey Kong Country is still one of the most gorgeous and memorable games Nintendo has ever released. Running through jungles, climbing vines, leaping across platforms, and of course, throwing barrels. It's such a different vibe from your usual Mario platformer, and that's what makes it special. But if you're craving that same mix of jumping, sliding, throwing attacks, and tough but fair platforming, I've got you covered. Finding well-balanced games in this style wasn't easy. Most of them are really challenging, but these 8 games capture the spirit of Donkey Kong Country perfectly. So get ready to feel like it's 994 again, sitting in front of your CRT TV, because these are 8 great games like Donkey Kong Country. Let's start with number 1. Nikoderiko, the Magical World. Nikoderiko, the Magical World is basically what happens when Crash Bandicoot and Donkey Kong sneak off to Cyprus for a holiday, have way too much fun and leave behind a magical love child. And honestly, that child grew up to be a platforming prodigy. This may look like a boring furry game, but thankfully it's so much more than that. From the moment you jump in, the game throws you into bright, bouncy worlds. Jungles, oceans, deserts that feel like Saturday morning cartoons. Got a gym membership and decide to flex. The visuals are so polished, you will wonder if you accidentally boot up a forgotten 90s classic. Except it's brand new. The gameplay, tight, smooth, like peanut butter on warm toast. You will be bouncing off enemies, collecting shiny doodads, and yelling, "Just one more level," until your controller begs for mercy. And the local co-op is a blast perfect if you want to bond with friends or passive aggressively sabotage them by hogging all the collectibles. The soundtrack slaps harder than a boss fight you aren't ready for. And speaking of bosses, they are challenging enough to make you sweat, but not so brutal that you rage quit and throw your Switch out of the window. Sure, it bursts from the grates, but it does so with a wink and grin. It's like the game knows you're nostalgic, then hands you a fresh bag of platforming tricks and says, "Here, have fun." So if you're craving colorful chaos, inventive levels, and reminder that indie games can absolutely punch above their weight, Nikoderiko is your ticket. Its charm, its creative, its proof that magical worlds are best explored with a goofy smile plastered on your face. Number 2. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Alright platformer fanatics, let's talk about a game that managed to steal the soul of Donkey Kong Country, then throw it into a chaotic 3D maze. Look, we all love Yooka-Laylee 1, but let's be honest, it tried to be 3 different games at once. This sequel, it knows what it is. A 2D platforming masterpiece. We are talking pixel perfect jumps, gorgeous levels, and that satisfying roll and attack that makes you feel like a lizard/bat hybrid born with ADHD. The core levels are fantastic. Each one has an alternate tweak state that completely changes the layout. You might flood a level, freeze it, or turn it into an electrical hazard. It's basically 2 games for the price of 1, which is excellent value, even if the second version usually involves getting electrocuted. But the real chaos starts in the overworld. Instead of just walking, you are solving Zelda-style puzzles to unlock those trick states. It's complicated, it's unnecessary, but I love it. It turns map navigation into a minor fewer dream. But when you finally line up that cannon shot to flood the swamp, pure dopamine. And then the Impossible Lair. The name isn't lying, the game throws you the final boss right at the start, essentially daring you to try. I went in with 1 coin, died 11 seconds later, and decided to spend the next 20 hours of my life collecting every single father out of spite. That's the kind of motivational failure this game provides. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is a charming, challenging, and surprisingly polished platformer that will make you shout at your TV, then immediately queue up another attempt. Go check it out. Number 3. Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends is the kind of game that makes you wonder if Ubisoft drank 10 cans of Red Bull energy drinks and said, "Let's make a game, guys." From the moment you start, the visuals hit you like a rainbow explosion. Bright, hand-drawn world that looks so good you will want to frame your TV. The animations are smoother than a butter on a hot pancake, and every jump, punch, and glide feels like a Rayman is in a Looney Tunes cartoon. The music levels, absolute chaos in the best way. You're platforming to the beat of Black Betty and while grinding like a maniac until you miss 1 jump and watch Rayman faceplant in rhythm. It's Guitar Hero mid slapstick comedy, and yes, you'll laugh at your own suffering. The cast is ridiculous in the best sense. Rayman, Glowbox, and the 10 Cs are basically your dysfunctional cartoon family. They are goofy, they are charming, and they will cheer you on while you fail spectacularly. What makes Rayman Legends legendary is that it turns failure into comedy and success into pure dopamine. It's gorgeous, it's hilarious, and it's proof that platformers can still surprise you, even when you're falling into pits for the 47th time. So if you want a game that's equal parts art gallery, comedy show, and cartoon rock concert, Rayman Legends is exactly what you are looking for. Only negative is that there is no sexy fairies in this game like in Origins. Maybe next time. Enjoying the video so far? Smash that like button, share the video with your fellow gamers, and subscribe if you want more hidden gems to make your gaming life even more entertaining. Number 4. Cuphead. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up and gaze upon Cuphead. A beautiful game that looks like it was made by Walt Disney if he got high on psychedelic mushrooms back in 1930s. Seriously, the moment this game fires up, your eyeballs are fed to a hand-drawn, run-and-gun cartoon that is so gorgeously rendered, you forgot how freaking hard this game is. This game is basically a boss rush gauntlet. You got angry carrots, boxing frogs, and a giant moon that looks like it's judging your life choices. The soundtrack, absolute jazz chaos. It makes you feel classy while you die for the 47th time. Now yes, Cuphead is hard, but it's the good kind of hard. The kind that makes you yell at your screen, then immediately hit retry because deep down you know you're the problem. And when you finally beat a boss, you don't just celebrate, you ascend spiritually. It's like Enlightenment, but with more swearing. So is Cuphead worth it? Absolutely. It's a charming, visual, stunning, auditory delight that will push your gaming skills to the absolute limit. It's got enough challenge to keep you from ever running out of things to complain about. Grab a friend for co-op, because misery loves company, and 2 cups are better than 1 when facing the literal devil. Number 5. Kaze and the Wild Masks. Gather around, children of the 90s, for Kaze and the Wild Masks. This game is what happens when a team of incredible pixel artists decide to perfectly recreate the golden age of 16-bit platformers. If you ever looked at the Donkey Kong Country series and thought, this is good but it desperately needs a charming, agile body to replace the gorillas, then congratulations, this is your game. You play as Kaze, a rabbit with a scarf and ears that can helicopter spin you across pits. That's right, a rabbit who uses her ears for flight. The only thing more aerodynamic than that is a starlet chihuahua. Her mission: save her friend Hugo, who has been turned into a creepy floating redhead. Standard Tuesday in Carrotland, apparently. The levels are a visual feast, jungles, snowy peaks and underwater caverns. But the enemies, they are an absolute culinary nightmare. We are talking angry sentient corn cobs, snarling eggplants and flying militant tomatoes. This game is a gentle reminder that your vegetables are trying to kill you. When you conquer a level, you don't just feel like a hero, you feel like you won a very aggressive supermarket sweep. The difficulty curve eventually becomes a difficulty cliff, which is why I've leveraged the game's advanced feature known as the personalized victory adjuster, or as the presidents call it, easy mode. I definitely prefer this configuration as my sanity is non-refundable. The titular wild masks are where the game gets bananas. Snap on Shark Mask and Kaze becomes a torpedo. Put on the Tiger Mask and she's a wall climbing rocket. These are not just power-ups, they are a whole new set of platforming puzzles designed to make you feel like an absolute genius when you nail sequence. Kaze and the Wild Masks is a gorgeous, challenging and endlessly fun platformer. It's a love letter to the 90s classics that managed to hold its own against them. If you love that tight, rewarding platforming, go grab this game. It's an essential experience, even if you never look at the hit of Legends the same way again. Number 6. Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure. Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure, or as it was known in Europe, Crash Bandicoot XS, which is a title that more accurately describes my attention span and also the size of that earth after Dr. Cortex gets his hand on it. That's right, the entire planet has been shrunken down, but don't worry, the game itself is a faithful full-size Crash experience crammed into a tiny Game Boy Advance cartridge. You got the classic formula: run, jump and smash lots of crates. The levels are colorful, the controls are tight, and Crash still moves like he's late for a dentist appointment. The game got that classic Crash difficulty, meaning the game is perpetually staring at you, daring you to misjudge a jump or a tiny pixel to chase him. You'll be sliding under lasers, frantically body slamming crates for Wumpa Fruit. And then suddenly the game throws a running towards the screen stage while a scary Yeti is chasing you. Why? Because you're playing Crash, and suddenly having a giant monster try to eat your marsupial butt is mandatory. It's high octane panic packed onto a screen the size of a Ritz cracker. Get ready to lose a lot of lives and possibly accidentally launch your GBA across the room. For fans of the original PlayStation trilogy, this is the handheld sequel you actually wanted. It takes all the best bits, the time trials, the vehicle levels, and sheer chaotic energy, and somehow managed to fit them all nearly onto the Game Boy Advance. Sure, the music loops quickly and the controls can be a tad slippery on the ice levels. But hey, that's just a faithful port of the true Crash experience. Go play the huge adventure. It's a massive amount of fun in a tiny package. Number 7. Yoshi's Woolly World 3DS. Yoshi's Woolly World on 3DS is basically proof that Nintendo raided a craft store and said, yep, this is a video game now. Everything is yarn, buttons and fabric, which means every level looks like it was designed by your grandma's knitting club after too much coffee. And right in the middle of all is Yoshi, the cutest ball of all since someone's failed scarf project. But let's talk about the real MVP, Poochie the dog. This little yarn pup is like your emotional support animal and Uber driver rolled into one. Poochie is loyal, adorable and somehow better at platforming than I am. He will sniff out secrets, carry you across dangerous terrain and never complains, unlike my actual dog who once ate my lunch. The enemies, absolute comedy. You got Shy Guy wrapped in yarn, giant fluffy bosses that look like rejected Build-A-Bear prototypes, and even plants that attack you like they are auditioning for a horror movie. And the best part, when you defeat them, they unravel like cheap sweaters. It's not just victory, it's fashion revenge. Gameplay is classic Yoshi. Swallows enemies, poop them out as yarn balls and throw them like you're competing in the Yarn Olympics. The soundtrack, cozy chaos. It's like the game is tugging you in with a lullaby while you're committing mass yarn-based violence. So if you want a game that's colorful, hilarious and lets you team up with the best dog in gaming history, Yoshi's Woolly World is perfect. Just don't be surprised if you get a heart attack for all the cuteness. And finally, number 8. Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Listen, I know what you're thinking, but the Sega Genesis version lets you use a sword. Stop it! Put the controller down, Sega fanboy. Because while you were busy stabbing sand, the SNES owners were playing a Capcom masterpiece. This isn't just a movie tie-in, this is basically Donkey Kong wearing a fez. Who needs a rusty scimitar when you have apples and pure athletic talent? This version isn't about violence, it's about parkour. Aladdin in this game moves like he thinks he's Jackie Chan. You're walling off guards' chests, swinging from poles, and bouncing on heads like a rubber ball of justice. It feels buttery smooth. If the Genesis version is an action movie, the SNES version is a Cirque du Soleil show performed by a street rat. And let's talk about the sheet. Long before Link had a paraglider in Breath of the Wild, Aladdin was floating down shafts with a dirty piece of laundry. It is the most satisfying mechanic in 16-bit history. Plus, look at it. The colors pop so hard, your TV might explode. The genie levels, absolute chaos in the best way possible. It actually looks like the movie, rather than a game you found in a dumpster. Throw in a soundtrack that turns a whole new world into a synth pop banger, and you have a platforming legend. It's short, it's sweet, and you don't have to murder anyone to win the princess' heart. You just have to jump on their head. In the end, Aladdin for the SNES is one of those rare licensed games that actually earns your love. It's fast, it's fun, it's whimsical, and it makes you feel like a kid again. And there you have it! 8 games that prove you don't need a tie-wearing gorilla to have a platforming masterpiece. Whether you're looking for the brutal, control-breaking difficulty of Cuphead or the chill, fuzzy vibes of Yoshi, hopefully one of these titles fills the barrel-shaped hole in your heart. Now look, compile this list took more effort than find all the Kong letters in a water level, so do me a massive favor to help the channel grow. If you enjoyed the video, slap that like button harder than Donkey Kong slaps the ground for a banana horde. And subscribe right now so you don't miss out on more nostalgic trips and hot takes. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we are playing next. But hey, did I miss a hidden gem? Or are you currently typing an angry comment explaining why the Sega Genesis version of Aladdin is actually better? I want to hear all about it. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Keep those controllers safe from rage quits, and I'll see you in the next level.